Hi, Fanta here with FANTA'S Cuisine. This is where you're going to see quick and simple West African dishes. Today we're going to be making... So without any further ado, let's cook. My ingredients are, I have parboiled rice here. This is 3 cups of parboiled rice, half a cup of olive oil, a pound and a half of minced meat. I have 4 onions here, medium-sized onions. I have 1 habanero and 2 garlic, some parsley. Now to season my meat, I'm going to need half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of ground pepper. Also gonna need 1 jumbo Maggi, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, some frozen okra chopped up, which I'm going to blend a little bit later on. I also have some fish here. This is just a little bit of smoked fish. I'm just going to blend it to make the sauce with it. And then I have here what we call Sumbara, or in Madingo we call it Sumbara, and we call it Kenda in Sierra Leone. It's the locust seeds that's fermented and grounded. This is it. Sesame seed that's just dried and grounded. We call it Benni in Sierra Leone in Creole. So those are my ingredients. Now let's cook. Okay, my rice is going on in the back there. What I did with the rice is I just washed the rice since it was 3 cups, and then I added the 6 cups of water because it's a parboiled rice. It's not a white rice, it's that parboiled. And then I put it on medium heat. So it's been cooking for a bit, and now when I see that the water is like almost dissipating, I'll just lower the heat at this point, really low to like almost the number 3. And then what I did was I took my gumbo, the okra. I blended the okra that I had with a little bit of water, and then I'm going to put that on the side here. I'm just gonna let that cook with the okra there for a bit, and I'm going to concentrate on the meat. I'm going to put my meat together now. I have here the minced meat, which I put in the bowl. I'm going to add the blended parsley, 1 onion, and the garlic that I had, the 2 garlics together. Put my paprika in there, a black pepper, salt, and a little bit of the Maggi. I'm going to also put maybe like just 1 tablespoon of oil on this, or 2 tablespoons, maybe 1.5 or 2, and the peanut butter is going to go in here also. I'm going to mix all this together. What I did also was I went ahead and I blended the fish that I had. I just blended it in my blender, and the balance of the 3 onions I just chopped it up. I still have the habanero there. I'm going to blend all this together, and then we're gonna come back. So I'm going to use my hands. I have my gloves on just to make sure, especially with the peanut butter, just make sure it goes all over. And this is what it looks like when it's all blended together. So now I'm gonna go ahead and make just my little balls, and I just use one of these bowls. I'm going to use one of these to put just a little bit of oil. It just helps with rolling, and I'm going to make tiny little balls just like this. This is like 2 at a time I'm making. I want them to be all like, you know, tiny little balls like that. Okay, so I'm going to do this until I'm done. I actually forgot to mention a key ingredient that I'm going to be using is these aubergine. They call them aubergine, or they're called garden eggs also in English. And they come from, we have them at the African store. They usually come raw, but since we don't have it raw, so you can just buy it already in these, and it comes already cooked. So this is one of the key ingredients in the Lafidi. I don't know how come I forgot I did not mention that. So I'm just going to use, it's like garden eggs actually, the taste. It's just smaller. So I'm going to put this on top of the rice, with the gumbo, the okra there, and let it all steam together because it's already cooked, like I said. Okay, this is what the rice looks like. As you can see, the rice is going. It's almost cooked. So at this point, I'm just going to add my garden eggs, like I said, just like that. And I'm going to add half of my the blended fish. Remember the fish that I just pulsed and I blended that? I'm just going to add a little bit of that also to the side and cover that up. I just added one jumbo Maggi onto the side there also. That way everything is going to just steam together. The rice is almost done. So this is just for a little steaming purpose for next 3 minutes before I take the rice off. I'm done with the meatball. It's all, you know, all tiny little balls and stuff. So I'm just going to add my oil. Okay, so I'm waiting for my oil to heat up before I add in my meatballs. Okay, so I'm gonna add in I'm going to fry my meatballs and then we'll come back. Okay, the first batch is done. Just gonna take that out. Don't let it like really fry up kind of. Oh, I just dropped one. Just like a half and half, but it still be soft kind of in the middle, because you want it to be still juicy in the middle. You don't want to dry it up. I'm going to add the second batch. Oh, the last batch, I should say. Second and last. Okay, I'm gonna let that go and then we'll come back. Now when you're trying to don't kind of like mix your meatball all the time, just shake a little bit of the frying pan like that, or whatever casserole, whatever you're using. That way, you know, it will flip over by itself and your ball will still remain a ball, because you don't want when you just put it in and you start playing around with it, it's all gonna mush up. So that's just a little pointer there while I'm waiting on this. Okay, the second batch is done. There. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove some oil, because there's a little bit of too much of oil from the meat as well. And then with what I have left here, I'm just going to add in my onions. Now the onions, I chopped like 2 in really tiny bits and pieces, and then 2 other ones I just like left them like in large slices like that. Okay, so I'm going to cover my onion and let it go for a bit. The onion is still going now. I did not add any water into this. I just covered it up, and then when I opened it, the steam is just going to let this cook. The thing is just to lower your fire. Don't get it too much high fire. At this point, I'm going to add in my fish. If you have like shrimp, that's you can add shrimp at this point. If you have powdered shrimp, you can add. I don't have any powdered shrimp handy, so all I did was I just took a little bit of smoked fish that I had, and I just blended that, and that way I had a little bit of fish powder. Or if you have fish powder, you can use that also. You just need a little bit for the taste, and a little, because you also have a little bit of fish powder on the rice also. So I'm going to let this go for a bit. I'm going to add in the rest of my Maggi that I have here. I'm going to cover it because the steam is what's really going to cook this, make this. I mean, it's just onions anyway, but you just want it to be really cooked, really soft. Yeah, onions. I'm gonna let it go, and we'll come back. Okay, let's check and see what's going on. Okay, see now, at this point, this is how you want it. Everything is like caramelized but not burnt. It's nicely. So at this point, I'm going to add back in the meatballs with the juices. Yep, that's your Lafidi for you. That's it. That's the sauce for your Lafidi. Now I'm just gonna mix all this together and let it go another 2 to 3 minutes, and it is done. And we're going to plate it. I'm gonna show you how we kind of plate it. So I'm gonna cover this up, let this go for the next 2 minutes while I plate the rice. Okay, to dish out the rice, all I do is I'm going to open that. So usually what we do is, you see the okra is already cooked with the rice. I'm just gonna take some of the okra, some of the rice, some of the fish. If you're somebody that likes okra like me, I'm gonna add a little bit more okra, and then a little bit of the Maggi, more rice of course, and this is the garden egg. I'm going to add 2 in there because I have to leave some for the others. So now I'm going to mix it up. So what I do is, with the garden egg, I just mix it up like that, and I mix the gumbo. I mash up a little bit of the Maggi. I like mine with a whole lot of garden egg and gumbo. Mix all that with the rice. Everything's mixed up. And then I'm going to put it in my bowl, like so. This is usually how we serve it. I'm just gonna show you how we serve it. But of course, you know, you can serve yours any way you want. There's still a whole bunch of rice in the pot. So all we do is we make like a volcano kind of thing like this. This is how it's served, like that. So after you've done that, and then you go over to the pot, open the pot, and then your meatballs go on top of the rice, like so. So this is our famous Lafidi. Like I said, Lafidi can be anything. You can do, if you want, you can do it with meatballs like I just did. If you want, you can do it with lamb chops. Sometimes I do it with lamb chops also. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more of the oniony saucy on it. And this is how we serve the Lafidi. Okay, alrighty, and now we're going to dig in. So this is how we serve it. You have your Lafidi on the side, And then you have your locust beans, which is the Sumbara here, the powdered locust beans. And then you have your powdered sesame seed on the side. So you add as much or as little to your food when you're eating it. So this is how we serve the Lafidi. Okay.